What's up, everyone? Andy Mkosi here, documentary photographer from South Africa. And in South Africa, it's event season. It's December. People are curating stuff, people are putting together events, and there's one common denominator out of zonke izinto zenzekayo xa busy with December. People need photographers, people need videographers. And I thought, I think it would be dope to share what I have gathered or understood as good etiquette for photographing events and good etiquette just like as a photographer at an event. So I've got 10 points, and these are derived from my own practice. So I think over the years I've been gathering experience as an events photographer, documenting events in a way that is like very different and distinguished. And I think like it would be nice for me to share some of those with people who are going to be busy this season, photographers that are busy photographing at events, live events, sundowner events, any event. I think this will apply. So number one, when the client approaches you, right, ask them a lot of questions, research around like the type of event that you're going to be photographing at, if there are like templates or previous images from different photographers. Say maybe you're new in that space and with that particular client, so you sort of do the research by looking at what other people have done and kind of emulating that. And a lot of the times, or maybe sometimes, but okay, Mantete, from my experience with me, I know that like when clients approach me for photographing events, I know they want the Andy Mkosi style, and that style is that black and white documentary feel, something that I've built and carved out for myself. And I'm adamant to approach events to photograph them like that. So number one, when a client approaches you, make sure you're asking a lot of questions on the sales call or the initial conversation that you're going to have with the person. Ask them a lot of questions. What do they want out of these images? What are they going to use them for? This will help you prepare better, like in terms of which equipment you'll need for the night, the scope that you'll be working on, and also it will determine how you price the client depending on the needs of the job. So that's number one. Ask, research, and make sure that you try and do a site rec if you can, to just see what type of environment that you would be working in on the day of the event. Number two, on the day of the event, the morning when you are packing and getting ready for ukuhamba uyoshuta, to make these images and document for the client, when you're packing your gear, make sure that you're creating an inventory list. So this will be like this will be the list that you take with you to the event. This will be the list that will help you at the end of the event when you're packing up, making sure that everything you brought into that space, you take it back with you. Because then what happens after is that you're going to be annoying the person that has booked you to come photograph, annoying them with like, hey kid, did you see my charger? Hey, did you perhaps come across an SD card, like, and stuff like that. You want to eliminate that using an inventory list. So number one, ask, research, and make sure that you know exactly what this job encompasses. Number two, make sure that you create an inventory list when you're packing before you head out to go photograph. This is the morning of, or the afternoon off if it's late, if it's in the morning, whatever the case is, you get me. Number three, ke, mna ndakholwa ngumuntu ofika early. You have to arrive early anywhere, either a meeting, a job, whatever the case is. If into iqala ngo-6, if the event starts at 6, arrive there at maybe 4. So you have like these 2 hours to get a feel of the space and continue asking questions if there is a representative that is tied to the job that you're doing. So that would be either like a brand person or communications person, whatever the case is. Make sure that you're speaking to that person, speaking to them and finding out any other information that might be vital on the day of the event. So ask questions from this person and settle in. Make sure that you're just like one with the space, and yeah, just prepare to do your thing. Glow event lay. Number four. So number four, you spend your time observing because event and the same thing over and over again. So try and find what those things are in that space. Observe the characters in the space, observe the movements, what's happening, what can help you tell the story. That the how okay, what can help you tell the story of particular event better, because it's easy to just like click away and make images, but then when you go back home you're giving yourself a lot of work. So when you observe and you understand, you're already editing and like you're already narrating in your head, so that ophinde like a computer yakho, you kind of know like, okay, cool, siso sisitori ndisithethayo and ndizasibonisa kanje yabona. So that's why number one is important, because you're preparing for that, trying to understand like the activities around the event and what will be needed of you in order to tell that story kakuhle yabo. So yeah, just observe, pay attention to the things that are happening to build the story of the event, the activities and the people who are in attendance. Number five, find your moments. Once you've observed and you know what's happening, you find your moments. So when I say find your moments, I mean you don't have to be walking around the whole time photographing the same thing that's happening over and over again. Identify moment yako, make an image of those moments, and relax in between, like continue observing because you're reading the room, you're studying what's happening, studying the movement, the activities, etc. So yeah, like find your moments through reading the room. Do not make the frame. Do not stop making the frame until ubenayo or do not stop making whatever frame or image that you've identified up until you're satisfied with the frame that you have, right? So that's number five. Number six, rest a dog, because the client or whoever else has asked you to come will not tell you to rest or take a lunch break or whatever. So when you have to gauge and be like, okay, cool, I've been working for maybe 3 hours, I'm going to sit down now. If the event and yazi, say maybe the event is 6 hours, I've never like all the events that run for 6 hours. But anyway, if the event is 6 hours, photograph for three, rest for one, and then go back and photograph the 2 hours that are left. And when you're sitting down, just relax, find something to drink, step out, get some air, get a different perspective, so that you can come back with a different perspective into that space. So that's number six, making sure that we're breathing, we're stretching, and we are still aligned with ourselves. So find that rest, dog. Number seven, if the event is a live event, guys, avoid hogging the stage. Avoid hogging the stage, guys. Yo, again, as a photographer, when you go to an event and get performer and abantu bamile phambi stage, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Like those photographers that just sit like phambi stage like for hours on end till the whole performance is done. You are depriving the people that have paid to come see that show. So people are there to see the show, the musicians, not wear, not dog. You're not the center of attention. Even the way you dress has to like you have to blend in or camouflage rather. No camouflage, like ungadisturb abantu, because likely in that crowd there's someone who paid for the ticket, and this is the first time coming to see maybe a Tandinduli. It's their first time coming to see, I don't know, Zoe Mutiha and Imkosi. It's their first time coming to see like their favorite artist, and when umile franti dog, you're just like snapping away. I think that's selfish. So yes, and Ichoba, don't go to the front. Go to the front by all means to make your image. And immediately when you're satisfied, leave so that people are able to enjoy the show without your lens and the back of your head distracting. Number 8, If it is an event that has a PR person on the ground, on site, that's your best friend. Stick with that person because bazakunceda to find, like, if say maybe it's a corporate event, that person will help you identify the important faces in the room, important personnel in the room, and uzokunceda to make sure that you have the images that you need, because they likely need image yalamntu obalulekileyo, that important person in the room. So make sure if there is a PR person or brand person or whatever, communications or marketing person, they have the info. They know the how. Yeah, well. So please make sure that you befriend a PR person and also befriend the staff, man. You know, like the rest of the staff, like at a corporate event, the last time I was working at a corporate event, I realized that I had forgotten to buy batteries, and the person that helped me was another staff member who was there working as well, the sound person. So be nice to your sound people, man. You never know when you might need help. You never know when you might need their assistance, and likely they might have what you need. So be very nice to sound people, especially nowadays. Sound people, likely they know a bit about cameras. So yeah, make sure that you're engaging them and or like just befriend them, talk to them. It's nice to make industry friends, I think, just for the sake of getting that next gig. uh, so yeah, if there's a PR person on site, ask them to help you identify important people who are linked to the event or the company that you would be photographing for. Number 9. So now you're at home, you're editing, right? So when editing, do it in a way that will make your work really stand out. So I'm going back to number 5. It ties in with number 5. Number 5, you're identifying these moments, and ultimately you're editing inside in Ngondweni. So you already have an idea when you sit down. Okay, cool. When I was on site and working, this is how I had edited this work, right? And you follow that protocol that you had initiated for yourself while you were making the images. So edit in a way that makes your work stand out. It's easy to send a client umsebenzi wabo via Google Drive or WeTransfer, but push yourself to be different from the crowd. At the moment, I'm using something called PixieSet. So PixieSet, you get to upload whatever images you've made for a client, and you send it off via a link like any other platform. But the difference is that the client gets a code, and they use that code to download. And what I like about PixieSet, and no, this is not a sponsored video. What I like about a PixieSet is the fact that what do I, the layout, yeah, the presentation is dope. Like, it really sets you apart. I won't lie. Like the first time I used it, I could see how it could set me apart from the pack. So find, it doesn't have to be Pixie Art. It can Pixie Set. It can be anything else that works for your practice and your editing process and your delivery process to the client. So make sure that when you're editing, also you're not repeating images. So if maybe there's a frame that repeats itself in different like fragments, make sure you pick one strong one from that strip. Don't give them 3, because likely these people are busy, né? And when you send them 3, you're essentially saying do my job and pick one from as is similar Z3. Editing is a hard process, and it's like sharpened over the years. So even with your own stuff, when you edit, make sure you're editing in a way that like is not repetitive of frames. Pick one frame that's strong. So quality over quantity. So find that perfect one. And if aiko, leave it, dog. It's fine. You'll get something similar the next time. So yeah, that's number 9. When editing, make sure you're doing it in a way that best represents umsebenzi wakho. Yeah, so that's number 9. And number 10, yeah, I think I tied in number 10 on number 9, where I was talking about like delivering the pictures to the client, how you should consider delivering those pictures to the client. So you can use PixieSet. So basically, number 10 is saying dare to deliver your images differently to the client. Give them an Andy Mkosi experience, give them a Bongingosi Muchanga experience, give them a Hopolang Letwaba experience, give them whatever photographer you are named experience, right? So those are the 10 things. You can go out and pick and choose whatever works for you. And disclaimer, these are not set in stone. These are things that have worked for me in my practice over the years. And I just thought, since it's festive season, summer season, busy season, gig season, photographers that work in those spaces would, like benefit from this information. Take it, leave it, pick one, two, three, whatever works for you. And yeah, I hope this has been fruitful for you or anyone else that's looking for this type of information. Enjoy, keep safe, and rest.